Cordy, and I'm really excited to bring you this video today. And my sponsor for the video was Spotify, who've kindly offered some kind of support. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's in the form of sort of fractions of pennies, obviously. Today's video is going to be a slightly different kind of thing. Basically, about 6 months ago, I think I was approached by DistroKid, and they asked if I wanted to do a video, and they offered me money for it. And I think I said in the video that I was only doing it as an experiment and to see what that experience was like. And you know, the platform was all fine and stuff, but I checked up on it about a few days ago anyway, and my conclusion is that it's really not worth the effort, and definitely not worth a subscription if you're not particularly a level. So you know, like where I'm at, my music didn't perform well on Spotify or anything, and I didn't really make much effort to promote it, so there is that as a caveat. But for me, I think if you were paying a subscription, I don't necessarily know that it would be particularly cost effective. So the reason I wanted to say that is because I guess, like me, you might be someone who's wants to have some creative output, but you're not necessarily sure where you should put it. And yes, while it would be nice to be on every single platform, does it really matter from a few perspectives? I guess that's what I wanted to discuss quickly and just talk you through some reasoning and do some reasoning of my own. So in the past, I've been involved with bands that have been on Spotify with a little bit of label backing, and I'd say in that case it was worthwhile because you end up getting pushed onto kind of playlists and stuff where you rack up more kind of play counts, and so you'd be getting slightly more than zero back from that kind of endeavour. However, you even see, you know, artists like Taylor Swift and these kind of huge artists saying that the Spotify royalties are not good. I think they're kind of in line with what you might get if you got played on the radio, but I've been played on Radio 1 as well in an old band, and that really didn't do much for us either. You get I think about £40 or something like that per play on radio. So I guess if you scale that up to like sort of millions of listens, that's kind of the comparison I would do. You know, if you got played on a radio show with millions of listeners and you get paid like 40 quid or something around that, Spotify, I don't know what you get for 1 million plays, but I think it's more than you get for a radio play, if you see what I mean. The reason that it might be useful to be on Spotify, I think, it feels kind of nice if you're in there amongst other kind of big artists, but I think the reality is that probably most of the time you're just going to be in a big pool of stuff where, you know, frankly, I don't know you're that discoverable. Well, that's my experience anyway. Not that I've tried to push it or anything, and I don't think I've ever really mentioned that my stuff is on Spotify outside of that one video. But it was just nice to have it there in case people did search and wonder, oh, does John have any music out anywhere? I think the same is probably true of most of the other streaming platforms. I don't know if any of them pay particularly well. So I was wondering, you know, what is the actual route that would be more worthwhile? So I think Bandcamp for me has been pretty good, and although, you know, you're not talking like crazy exposure or anything, and people are going to have to go and find it if they want to, I think for me that's going to be the route that I do more of, just because basically it's not particularly worth the effort to put it on DistroKid and get it out to all the streaming platforms, because frankly people aren't particularly looking for my music, and that's fine, and that's kind of just the reality of where it's at. And I don't think without like a PR and label push and all that sort of thing that those streaming platforms are going to do much for you, particularly kind of in the jazz world. You know, you hear people like Jonathan Kreisberg say that they've got their stuff on there, and smaller kind of, I say smaller, they're massive in the jazz world, but compared to kind of the pop world, they're going to be kind of small artists. And I don't know what the numbers are, but if there's not significant sort of millions of streams, I don't think it's necessarily, or even hundreds of thousands of streams, I don't think it's particularly worthwhile going down that route, in my experience anyway. That's not to say that I don't think there's still value in putting out music, and I think one of the things that I sort of lament in many kind of great guitarists and musicians in general is kind of like that kind of state of not really releasing anything. So I think it'd be fair to say that there's a chunk of online guitarists who I mean, maybe I just speak for myself, like I don't think there's a big appetite for my original stuff, so the motivation isn't necessarily there to do loads of it or for that to be the main push. But there's a tiny bit of a following now where people have asked about original stuff, and so maybe now is a better time to release than sort of a year ago when the channel wasn't popping. So anyway, I could say now that yesterday I just released a track on Bandcamp, sort of spur of the moment thing, and it's a song I wrote a long time ago and doesn't have any guitar on it, but it might be something that you're interested in, it might not. I'll put it at the end of this video, and I'll probably upload it to YouTube just by itself as well, in case you wanted to listen to it that way. But it'll be on Bandcamp if you want to support the stuff that I do. I've got other tracks like this which I'll probably release, and I'm thinking with the new PC that I'm going to try and be a bit more adventurous and put some stuff out just because why not? I know that there's not a huge appetite for it, but if I don't do it, then nothing will ever happen anyway. So I think it's a case of just trying something rather than not, if you see what I mean. I think this is probably also kind of generally what I've found is that it's better to do something than to not do something, particularly in the arts world. Obviously it's not true for everything, you know. Base jumping or parachuting might be, you know, cases where it might be better just to not do them, or driving without a seatbelt. But as an artist or a musician or something, I think it's probably fairly important to try and leave behind sort of bits and pieces of art or music and stuff that you've completed or finished, and to leave that behind as sort of a marker of where you're at. And I think that's kind of the way that I see the YouTube videos and stuff as well. You know, like every day I'm uploading a completely improvised piece of music, and it's not that I think that every single one of them is of any value, but it's just leaving behind markers of my playing, I guess. So leave some comments below if you think you want to hear more of my stuff, or if you like any of it. And if you wanted to support it, Bandcamp is probably where I'm going to continue to upload stuff from now on, just because, yes, it'd be nice to be on all the streaming platforms, but it really doesn't make a difference to me whether I'm on Spotify or not, because I don't have the sort of plays to make a difference financially or anything. I think it's $5 that I made in 6 months, so it's just irrelevant. So yeah, I just wanted to put this little video together. I think hopefully you'll like the track. Let me know. It's all me singing and playing and all that stuff, but let me know if you like it. Let me know if you want me to do more of this sort of stuff, and let me know if you're interested in me putting original music out there and, you know, trying to do stuff which isn't improvised. Everything you see on this channel mainly is me improvising, so I just sit in front of the camera with a click on and see what happens, and then put the backing track to that and then play a solo over it. Is basically my method. But if you're interested in seeing kind of composed stuff, then let me know. And yeah, thank you for all the support on the channel. If you're wanting to continue supporting, Patreon is a good place to do so. And yeah, Bandcamp, as I say. And if you wanted to, and if you're a Helix user, Podgo user, FM3 user, my presets, I try and price them kind of fairly. If you can't afford those presets or anything, you could always just message me, and I'll probably message you back and say, well, here you go. It's not really supposed to be like a greed thing. It's just kind of a trying to keep the stuff going kind of thing, if you see what I mean. It's not like I'm incredibly wealthy. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you for another video soon. Hope you like the track. Cheers.
It's not a miracle that brought me here again. It's a habit. Don't fall for it. Beyond the visual, a selfish motivation. I'm here to use you, and I can't help it. I'm tamed at last. I regain the trust. I swing back to you. I swing back to you. You're a rarity. Sacrifice of self-respect, spend your honor, and I can't change it. You kept your stature, your shoulder grace despite